In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 strategies that made me a millionaire by the time I turned 28. I'm going to be sharing with you step by step what I did and give you a blueprint that you can follow as well. I literally quit my multi-6-figure job to help you become financially free. If you're interested in all things investing, personal finance, and money, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any videos. And if you're serious about becoming a millionaire, it's vital to understand each one of these steps, so make sure you watch until the end. So with that, let's get into it. The first step I took to becoming a millionaire was changing my mindset. It sounds cliche, but this is honestly one of the most important things you need to understand. There are different things that go into mindset, so let's talk about each of these. The first thing you need to adopt is start thinking like a millionaire. But how do you do that? A couple of great places to start is reading books like Rich Dad Poor Dad or The Millionaire Next Door. In order for you to change your outlook on money, you need to understand how it works. Unfortunately, school never taught us about money and how to grow it. We were taught growing up to go to school, get a good job, work for 40 years, and save enough money to hopefully retire. The reality is that method just isn't going to cut it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that model, but if you truly want to become a millionaire, then you need to take additional steps to get there. And these are the exact steps that I'll be discussing throughout the video. Let's talk about a few mindset shifts that helped me become a millionaire. The first thing is buy assets before liabilities. Why do we as a society celebrate people for buying a nice new car? It's literally one of the worst investments you can make. So quick story on this. When I was about 22, I had a job selling pest control door to door. I did really well that summer where I made about $50,000. And being a broke college student at the time, that might as well have been $1 million to me. After coming home that summer, I had about $50,000 sitting in my bank account, and the first thought I had was, what car should I buy? It wasn't, I'm gonna go buy some stocks or real estate. It was literally, what color of BMW should I get? And I know I'm not the only one that thinks like this. Once my mindset shifted from I want to buy nice shoes and cars and whatever else to my assets will pay for my liabilities, it completely changed the way I saw money. Let me say that again because this is super important. Let your assets pay for your liabilities. The second mindset shift that I had was adopting an abundance mindset versus scarcity. Growing up, it was drilled into my mind that I had to save, save, save. That meant turning off the lights when no one was using it, finishing all my food no matter what, and clipping coupons, of course. This was conditioning my mind to constantly have a sense of scarcity. Once I learned that money is abundant and that by re-engineering my mind to believe that money isn't some finite resource, it helped me to play more offense rather than only playing defense with money. And the third mindset shift that helped me become a millionaire was shifting from the employee quadrant to the investor quadrant. So what does that even mean? Most of us are stuck in the employee quadrant. This is where you trade your time for dollars and is the traditional 9-to-5 life that we were taught growing up. But if you want to build true wealth, you need to get into the business owner or the best investor quadrant. Once I started to view each dollar I had as an employee making money for me, it changed everything. Even if you're making $1,000 an hour, you're still trading your time for dollars. And this is another mindset that even I fell victim to. Just because you're making a lot at your day job doesn't mean you're financially free. The second you stop working, your income is shut off. This is why it's super important to shift into the B or even I quadrants. And we'll talk more about that in this video. The second step that helped me become a millionaire was finding a mentor. And before we get into this, please don't start randomly messaging people, hey, will you mentor me? This is a surefire way to get rejected and also come across as desperate. So how do you find a mentor then? The best way to find a mentor is by adding value. But I'm just starting off and don't have any value to add. Yeah, with that mindset. Okay, so how do you add value to a mentor? First, you'll need to identify people you want to emulate or reach their level of success. Now, I say people intentionally because not every successful person is cut out to be a mentor. And I'm saying this out of personal experience. The reality is most people don't want to mentor someone. It takes a lot of effort, time, and resources. However, if you go about it the right way, then you can find a mentor that will help you along your journey. Once you've identified a potential mentor, you will need to figure out what value you can bring to their business. Let's take a person that flips homes, for example. You can offer to pick up their materials for them, you can clean up their work site, you can even offer to find off-market properties for them as well. Every single flipper I know wouldn't say no to someone that offered to do any of these things. Of course, in exchange for some mentorship. If you can demonstrate you're hungry and willing to put in some work in order to be mentored, 9 times out of 10, the person will say yes. And pro tip, find solutions to their business. And you can come up with solutions by straight up asking them or being observant and coming to the table with potential solutions. So where do you find mentors? They're literally everywhere. You can go to social media, Facebook groups, forums on what you're interested in, people within your circle, etc. Now here's an important thing to mention. You don't need a mentor to be successful, but they can help you fast track your growth and potentially save years of mistakes. The third thing that helped me become a millionaire is through real estate. There's a reason why 90% of millionaires own real estate. I believe it's the best way for the average person to become a millionaire. And we have a beginner's guide playlist on how to invest in real estate that you can check out here. And the way that I got started in real estate was by house hacking. House hacking is where you live in one unit and rent out the rest. The goal is to have a very minimal housing payment or even get paid if you find a good enough deal. And in my case, I bought a fourplex with a 5% down owner-occupied loan. I lived in one of the units and was literally getting paid a couple $100 to live in my house. I moved out after a year and rented out the other unit I was living in, and now I had a cash flow producing asset. And that was the catalyst that helped me to build my real estate portfolio to over $7.5 million worth of real estate in just a few years. The reason I love real estate so much is because it pays you in 5 different ways. And the last one is one that even most seasoned investors don't know about. I'm gonna put an approximate percent return for each to help you give you concrete numbers as to why real estate is so powerful. The first one is cash flow, and this one is obvious. This is the total rent income minus your monthly expenses, which includes your mortgage, insurance, property tax, utilities, repairs, property management, etc. All right, so in this example, let's say you have a $100,000 house where you put 20% down as your down payment. After all expenses, you have $150 in cash flow each month. So $1,800 divided by your $20,000 or your down payment equals a 9% cash on cash return. The second way you get paid through real estate is through appreciation. The average rate of appreciation is about 6% a year. Let's be conservative and call it 3%. So sticking with the example of your $100,000 house, let's say it appreciates at 3% a year. The value of your house after 1 year is now $103,000. So your $3,000 in appreciation gain divided by your $20,000 down payment. And remember, the money you have in the deal is only $20,000, which is your down payment. So that's another 15% return on your house after 1 year. The value of your house after 1 year is now $103,000. But remember, because you only put down $20,000 and you had a $3,000 appreciation gain, your return is actually 15% instead of 3%. That's the beauty of leveraged real estate. The third way you get paid is through loan paydown. If you have a cash flow producing rental property, your tenants are the ones paying down the loan for you. Sticking with the $100,000 house example, with interest rates hovering around 5%, for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, your tenants are paying down $1,176 in principal each year. And that means more equity for you. Your $1,176 divided by your $20,000 down payment is another 6% return. The fourth way that you get paid is through tax benefits. There are lots of advanced strategies like cost segregations or 1031 exchanges. This is where you can defer or decrease your tax bill by a ton. I won't go into that here, but even without those, there are more standard tax deductions that real estate provides. If you have a mortgage, you get mortgage interest deductions, and you also get depreciation deductions as well. Now, this is harder to quantify because it depends on your personal income situation, but to be conservative, let's call this another 3%, but it could be much higher than that. And the last one where most savvy investors don't even realize is working for them is inflation hedging. Let me make it simple to understand. Let's say you have $100,000. Now, if you're doing nothing with this $100,000, inflation is eroding it away at a 3% clip each year. So the purchasing power of your $100,000 after year one is now only $97,000. In the same way, inflation erodes away your mortgage debt. Another way to think about this is it's easier to pay back fixed rate debt with tomorrow's dollars. So that $80,000 in loan debt is really only $77,600 after year one, even though you didn't make any extra payments towards your mortgage. Let's be conservative and call this another 3% return. So if you're keeping track at home, your year one return from all 5 of these profit centers is 36%. This example is also very conservative. I've had returns as high as 150% in year one. The last thing that helped me become a millionaire by the age of 28 is through side hustles. Everything on this list is equally important. Once I had a solid foundation built on each one of these 3 I've already talked about, side hustles are what supercharge my growth. Most of us have 9-to-5 jobs that barely get us by. Some of you might even have jobs that earn you a good living. My answer to both of these types of people are the same. Start a side hustle. I truly believe that everyone should have one. Most of you, I'm sure, would like for your side hustle to eventually replace your full-time job. So before you start, it's important to find one that's scalable. So we're gonna throw out surveys and clipping coupons. The hardest part is finding one and sticking to it. There are so many good side hustles out there. There's flipping, there's wholesaling real estate, there's e-commerce, affiliate marketing, Amazon FBA, the list goes on and on. The most important thing to do is find one and stick to it. Shiny object syndrome is real, and if you fall into this trap, you won't ever see the level of success you're hoping for. I've been guilty of this, but once I realized that I wasn't gonna get anywhere by trying to do 5 different side hustles at once is when my main side hustle started taking off. Now, I won't go into depth on these side hustles as I've already touched on these in other videos. You can search my page for side hustles on affiliate marketing, wholesaling, and flipping. Those videos give you tactical advice on how to get started, so go check those out after this video. What I'm gonna touch on right now is the scaling aspect of the business, which is one of the most important things you need to know. When you first start off, you're gonna be wearing all the hats. You're gonna be fulfilling orders, you're gonna be marketing, you're gonna be doing sales, CEO, accounting, all the things. I think it's important to know enough to be dangerous in all aspects of the business. You can continue wearing all the hats and get to a respectable income amount. But if you want to scale to have it become a multi-million-dollar business, then you need to understand how to structure your business. There are 3 levels in a business that you need to understand. You have your business owner, you have your management/integrator, and also your technicians. Let's first talk about the technicians. This is the person that's gonna be doing the day-to-day stuff like customer service, sales, marketing, finance. It's important to phase out of this as quickly as possible. Now, of course, without technicians, you don't have a business. But these are the lowest per hour jobs that you can afford to hire out at first. This is what I did within my own business. I hired an assistant, a team of editors, and bookkeepers. They're able to continue the day-to-day so I can focus on the big picture stuff. The second level is hiring hiring out management. The manager is responsible for communicating the vision from the business owner to the technicians. This will ensure that everyone is on the same page and working towards the same goals. Managers are vital to company culture and overall success of the business. Like seriously, don't cheap out on managers. They can literally make or break your business. And trust me, I've worked for some great companies that had terrible managers, which meant that no matter how good the company was, the experience was still bad. I've also had the opposite, where I've worked for not so great companies, but I had excellent managers and I still enjoyed the work. Now imagine you have a combination of both and you have a great company and a great management team. You can see how this can explode your business. And the last is the business owner. This is the person doing all the big vision stuff. The business owner is going to be doing all the things that are going to help push the business forward. It's hard to see the big picture if you're constantly in the day-to-day grind of all the little details of the business. That's why getting to this level is the goal. And always remember, if you have a business that can't run without your presence, then you don't have a business, you have another job. So there you have it. These are the 4 strategies that I use to become a millionaire by the age of 28. There really isn't any secret sauce. It's about mastering the basics and repeating them over and over again. This is the exact blueprint that I use to become a millionaire. To recap, number 1 is reforming your mindset. Number 2 is finding a solid mentor. Number 3 is investing in real estate. And number 4 is starting side hustles. I truly believe that anyone can become financially free sooner than you may realize. It's all about making the correct sacrifices and consistently doing the right things. I quit my job to help you become financially free. The goal for this channel is to help you become financially free. So if this video is helpful, please give it a like and subscribe, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos that we post. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.